City Views, City Views. You got love for your city? City Views, City Views. City Views. Oh, City Views, City Views, City Views. Oh, City Views, City Views, City Views, City Views. City Views, City Views, City Views, City Views, City Views. City Views, City Views, City Views, City Views, City Views, City Views, City Views. And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of CT Views. That's right, bringing it to you right here on your local cable access, Altice Channel 5, here with my lovely co-host, the one and only Coryse Villarouel. And with us tonight, our guest host, Paul Cavagnero, City Council member, and let's just say political...
Careful. Careful, sir.
Political advocate.
There we go.
Yes.
I'll take that. I'll take that.
Okay.
And when did I get promoted to co-host? No, you didn't tell me this. You said you sit there and look like the senior citizen that you are and don't have to do anything. That's what I was
right
told.
behind you, Paul. Don't feel bad.
All right.
Now, just so everyone knows, we did invite Ann Ruette to join us tonight because we like to have one member from each party here on our panel discussions so that we can make sure that we're being as fair as we possibly can be. So look forward in the following weeks, now that we're into election season, to hear from some of our candidates and our representatives. So, Paul, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight, man.
No, my pleasure. My pleasure.
And we're going to get to talking with Paul here just as soon as we recognize our sponsors. We want to give a big shout out to Toth Insurance Agency, located at 1151 East Main Street, Torrington, Connecticut. Better protection, better value. He can be reached at 860-496-7771 or at tothins@optonline.net. Mel Brickman and Health Services. Mel Brickman and Health Markets, located at 16 McDermott Ave, Suite number 1, Torrington, Connecticut.
Better call Mel.
He can be reached at 860-307-1128 or at healthmarkets.com/local-health-INS. The Northwest Connecticut Chamber of Commerce, located at 59 Field Street, Suite 120. The Chamber is the place to be. They can be reached at 860-482-6586. And last, but certainly not least, Dr. Michael Curry, located at 30 Peck Road, Suite 2105, Torrington, Connecticut, pediatric care for over 50 years. He can be reached at 860-482-8177 or at torringtonpediatrics.com. Big shout out, big thanks to our sponsors. We couldn't do the show without you, so we definitely tip our hats to you. In the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, got a great show lined up for you today. We got, it's going to be, it is Latin Heritage Month.
National Hispanic Heritage Month.
Yes.
It actually started on September 15th and goes until tomorrow, October 15th.
Okay.
So they get a month.
Yep.
But, you know, it's about celebrating all the achievements and advancements of that Hispanics have contributed to this great nation of ours. So we do have a special guest calling in, Sin Martinez, and Sin and I have acted together in a TV trailer called Bounce.
Mm-hmm.
Bounce. Bounce. It's about a girls' basketball team, college basketball team.
Okay.
But Sin,
did you play Asia Wilson?
No. I played an interest.
Oh, okay. An interest. Okay. All right.
Let's just leave it at that.
Okay. I can't wait to see that trailer.
But no, you're not going to see that trailer. But Sin is also a playwright.
Yes.
And she's been doing plays in the Hartford area.
Mm-hmm.
So I invited her to call in the show tonight, so we can recognize her achievements and just talk to her and see what she's up to these days.
Great. looking forward to that. In the meantime, Paul, thank you for hanging out with us tonight. And we're in election season, and going to be seeing what the slate's going to consist of here in the next few weeks. And your role in our city government over the last, I'd say, probably 2 decades.
Yeah, it's been 20 years between Board of Education and City Council.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's been a while.
that's a great legacy that you're leaving for the city. Talk to us a little bit about what makes you want to represent the voters and the residents of Torrington, and why you feel your contributions are as important as they've been.
It's really my upbringing, quite frankly. You know, I'm the grandson of immigrants, Italian immigrants. They came here turn of the last century.
Yep.
And like every wave of immigrants, or Irish, Italian, Polish, Jewish, Lebanese that we have here in Torrington, they all came for a better life.
Yep.
You know, they came from poverty, and this country and this city provided them with that. And so by the time when my parents, my father and mother, when they were adults, they were raised with the idea that you had to give back. You know, you got a lot from this country. You know, a lot that they didn't have in the old country, and you just paid it back, and you paid it back by service. So my father was very much involved in Catholic Family Services, in a lot of in the YMCA and a lot of those organizations. My mother volunteered at the library. She volunteered at St. Peter's School, and so volunteerism in that regard was just a part of what you did.
Right.
You know, when you grew up.
Right.
And
well, I think those.
That.
I think what you just stated, though, Paul, is those values, that shared sense of values that binds us and brings us together. How do you communicate that through the legislative process?
Well, for me personally, I'm not going to speak for other city councils. So I was, just so people know, I was 10 years on the Board of Education. I was chairman for 6. And then I transitioned to the city council. And after 10 years on the Board of Ed, again, and a long slog as the chairman, I just began to feel that there needed to be a much better and closer relationship between what the Board of Education was doing and the City Council, because as our population diversified and became more splintered, a lot of the problems that were city problems landed in our school system, school problems landed in the city, and to have these two silos that didn't really talk to each other exist, to me was a huge problem. Okay, so the original question was what, Jacque? How does your values manifest itself into the legislative process? So my political sort of orientation, you know, is really not partisan in that sense. You know, I just tell people I try to represent the best for Torrington, for the family values and for the people of Torrington, regardless of which party may be in power or pushing legislation or pushing initiatives. I look at it, who does this benefit? How is it fair? Does it make sense? Does it move our city forward? And I'll get behind those ideas. And so that's, I think, hopefully that answers the question, is I just try to bring sort of a common sense. Whatever's happening in Washington, you know, I mean, me personally, to me, that the whole thing is a clown show. It just is. It drives me bananas. So I'm just all I am is a local city councilman, people. That's what I am. I can, you know, I can grapple with what's happening in Torrington and try to keep it local. And you know, I was raised in a certain way, in a traditional way, and those kind of family values benefited me, my family, my cousins, my brothers, people I grew up with. And when I, quite honestly, I had a sort of long prodigal son story. You know, I went to college in Massachusetts. I got into media by virtue of a friend who got me into editing, which took me then out to the West Coast. And then, there was, there was a house break-in when I was married, and I had two very young children. And my wife at the time, the gunman was actually in our house.
Wow.
And she wanted to get out of town, out of Dodge as quickly as possible. So we did. So we came all the way back here because my Southern California wife had been to the East Coast and been with my family, and she loved. She actually this is a Los Angeles girl now, right? Los Angeles young woman, and she just liked the closeness of Torrington. It all made sense to her, and she wanted. So that was the whole sort of circle of coming back here, and so that's as much as I can say. So I look at these issues, and as I've the school issues, trying to keep sort of bring a common sense to what are we trying to accomplish here with our school system, trying to keep rooted in what the traditional values are, trying to keep an open mind about clearly I'm getting older and there's a new generation out there, but I've raised a couple of kids, and I understand where they're coming from, and I try to incorporate that in my thinking too, that things have got to change, and I just try to bring all that into my individual decisions,
Well, you're doing something right, because you have yet to not serve a term on the city council. So I think that's a vote of confidence from the voters of Torrington. Now, if anyone is familiar with CT Views, this show originated from City Views, which was originally founded by Tim Driscoll and Rick Delaval. Now, the purpose of that particular show was to share with the general audience all the issues that were taking place in city council that they wanted to elaborate on and bring clarity to. So that was one of the reasons why I wanted to have you and on the show today, because you guys carry that tradition from your tenure to now on the city council. And for the most part, if you were to rate the city's development over the last 15 to 20 years, what would you say are some of the strengths and some of the things that the city needs to work on?
The strengths really are the involvement of the city, of the people of Torrington. When I look at downtown, and I see the progress that's been made, and creating a vibrant and much more sort of attractive and appealing downtown. I think my fellow politicians will hate me for saying this, but when I look at the best accomplishment, the biggest accomplishments, they've been done by individuals and by special groups, not the politicians, quite frankly. They just have been. Whether it's the Nutmeg, the Warner,
5 points.
Brinks, 5 points, exactly. All of those things. It's just individuals with a vision. Now, clearly our elected officials have worked with and facilitated and worked hard in many ways behind the scenes to accomplish that. And, so I think there's been real progress in that regard. Doing a lot of fighting the good fight in the fact that Torrington is a distressed community. We're one of the worst distressed communities in Connecticut in terms of, the amount of money and capital that's here to do things. Where I think the shortcomings are, and I don't like to talk about the shortcomings, I think, have to do with the fact that for a long time, I think there's been a really strong feeling of management of the city from City Hall. The City Hall has done a good job managing the issues in Torrington. Where there's a shortcoming, I think, is leadership, which is different than management. Okay, I think there's just an absence, not a complete absence. I think our current mayor has done a very admirable job. She's definitely an intelligent and capable and hardworking woman who's represented Torrington very well. I just want to say that. Okay,
absolutely.
I just think that in a lot of instances there was a tendency to let our department heads run their departments on their own and not in a coordinated way through City Hall. I'm trying to be
I hear you.
as tactful as I can.
Mm-hmm.
So I get this. My feeling is that in a lot of ways, these departments have gone off on their own, and they're looking for what is in the best interest of their department, the Board of Ed. Everybody's off, and there hasn't been that centralizing sort of figure in City Hall. And I'm just being honest in my assessment here.
Yeah.
That would bring them and bring these people ahead and knock heads. Quite frankly, I've spent the last. I retired recently, but I was at ESPN for a long time. Okay, for like 22 years. And when you work for a big organization like that, you just inevitably learn
group dynamics.
precisely, and how information and command and control works in a corporate environment to get things done efficiently. Because in that environment, if you don't learn that, you're gone. Quite frankly.
Yeah.
So I think there's been that sort of absence that that what we need is somebody who's going to really ride herd on all these various departments with their own interests.
Consolidation.
Yeah, and focus on a common set of priorities for all departments. Here's where we're going to be going. Here's what you're going to do with your department, and this gets into negativity. But a prime example that irritates me right now is, quite frankly, the horrible treat. Our roads, okay? To me, that is a manifestation of just poorly thought out and planned action, okay?
I completely agree.
and there's there was, I think, I might be wrong, I think it was like $32 million to start with, money that went into all this infrastructure. And it's not that, it's not that the work, I don't want to, say that the people who are doing our city workers are fine. It's the organization at the department head, level. How do these decisions get made and not made?
Right.
So we have this hodgepodge of, I don't need to, you guys see, you drive it every day. You feel like you have to change your shock absorbers when you go across town.
Sure, and actually my fiance has had to attach something to the bottom of his car
I've heard these stories.
Going up East Main Street because it's gone over the manholes so many times.
I've heard
But we are going to take a short break because we do have our guest caller calling in right now.
Okay.
So we have Sin Martinez calling in for National Hispanic Heritage Month. I'm going to get her on the line here. Hello, Sin.
You can just tell me.
How are you?
Because I do.
I'm good, thank you. Welcome to CT Views. I'm going to just quickly read off a short bio on you here before we get into asking you questions. So Sin Martinez is a playwright performer from Hartford, Connecticut, raised by her parents who moved from Puerto Rico in the early 70s. Sin's appreciation for living a multicultural life was cemented early on. From 1999 to 2002, she studied theater at the Center for Creative Youth at Wesleyan University and the Greater Hartford Academy of the Arts. She then went on to land acting jobs. She was the host in the documentary film Women in Charge. And the list goes on and on. Sin and I have also done one trailer together for a TV show. That's the first time I met Sin. She's an amazing actress. And Sin, welcome once again to CT Views. How are you today?
Doing all right. Trying to be as perky as possible in this gloomy kind of day.
Oh, yes. Tell me about it. It's hard. And Sin is also a new mama. Well, I shouldn't say new anymore, right? How old's your little one? A year old?
Yeah, he's one, a little over one, and it's been a roller coaster and a very fast one.
Yeah, a lot of juggling, right?
Yes, definitely. It's definitely Cirque du Soleil up in this house.
Oh boy! So, Sin, tell us, you have done plays for, is it what company in Hartford?
Yeah, so I've collaborated with Heartbeat Ensemble on some scripts and performances as well. As an ensemble member, I've joined them way back during college days. So it's been a long relationship with Heartbeat Ensemble, which is a social justice theater company here in Hartford. So it was really sort of on-the-job training to really learn how to create a play from beginning to end. And I was mentored by the founders of the company, so been lucky in that way.
How, excuse me, this is Jacque Williams. This is the co-host for CT Views. Thank you for coming on the show.
Yeah.
I'm curious, how does the concept of a social justice theater work? Are the works that are submitted, do they have to comply to that social justice brand, or?
So, a lot of their work over the years since its inception, a lot of it, they develop their own plays, in-house. And they, after some years would bring in other playwrights in their plays into the season of shows. So it was twofold. But a lot of, art imitates life, and quite frankly, there's always some kind of good fight, good trouble, and Heartbeat likes to highlight that.
Now, are there, what are the platforms that are being used? Is it all just live acting, or is there any films, or how does that?
Oh, no, it's a theater company, so it's all theater shows and plays. Mm-hmm.
And how long have you been doing this now?
Wow, it's 2025, so let's...
He's trying to make you age yourself here. Sis.
No, I'm not. I'm just trying to let the people know that you experience. You're doing your thing.
Yeah, a long time.
Since 2003, you said?
Yeah.
That's a long time.
So,
wow.
That's a long time.
So it has definitely been a journey, and as someone who has always had a passion for the arts, even though I carved out time to do plays, to perform, to rate, to be a part of the creative community. I've always, moonlit and always held a traditional job at the same time because, you got to eat.
Yeah.
And so I've built a lot of technical skills, a lot of good skills doing other things aside from the arts. But so I've always lived a double life, if you will. Mm-hmm.
So tell us some of the names of the plays that you've contributed to.
Yeah. So with Heartbeat Ensemble, there was some collaboration for Flipside, Riding the Turnpike, a few of those. And then eventually I went on my own to create Pegal, which is a family in Puerto Rico. The grandmother is a domino champion. If you know domino tournaments in the Caribbean, it's always a male-dominated scene. So, as a woman, she kicked butt in tournaments and was a champion. And she's trying to teach her grandchildren, her adult grandchildren, and her youngest daughter how to play the game to keep that going. But at the same time, she's really teaching them how to navigate through life.
Wow.
Through the game. Mm-hmm.
So in light of... I'm sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
Oh, no, we can stay on Pegal for a little bit. Go ahead.
I was just going to ask for your thoughts as we celebrate Latin Heritage Month. What your thoughts are on how the process of getting more diversity into the field is coming.
Yeah, so, I remember, that was a call to action, right, as far as diving into playwriting, because I began as, I wrote poetry when I was younger, and I began to perform a lot, and then the call to action to write plays that told stories of the Latinx background came out of just not having a lot of material in my hands to perform with. And so I wanted to add to the canon in that way. And so since then, 20-something years ago, there's just been a lot more Latinx writers for plays and film. And so now there are anthologies. Now there are just a lot of academic publishing books that have to do with Latinx plays. And that is a great indicator that not only are writers sort of coming out of the closet and putting themselves out there and getting published, but that the world is also embracing the work that's being put out there.
That's fantastic.
And there is an audience, right? There's an audience for us.
I think they call that progress.
Yes, there's progress. There has been progress. And it's great. And so now it's like, now there are playwriting circles, Latinx playwriting circles. Now there are a lot of theater companies that were birthed as Latinx theater companies all around the states. So definitely indicators of progress, which is great.
Wow. Well, I'm certainly glad that Coryse had an opportunity to bring you on the show tonight. And I think that we would definitely want to do a follow-up so that we can you can share some of your other works with our audience.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Tell us what's
And
next
if
on the
anyone
horizon
wants
for
to-
you.
Yeah, if anyone wants to look me up, I do have a website, cinmartinez.com. That's CINMARTINEZ.com, and it goes into a little bit more depth of the plays I've written. There are new plays that I'm actually finished the last draft recently for, commissioned through the Charter Cultural Center. So lots going on, which is good, but I'm definitely open to continuing this conversation as I am a champion of the arts. And we can always talk about this outside of Latinx Heritage Month.
We're going to be looking forward to that for sure.
All right.
Well, thank you so much for calling in, Sin. It was a pleasure, catching up and speaking with you. And we'll be reaching out in the future to collaborate.
Wonderful. Looking forward to it.
Thank you.
Bye now.
Have a good night.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Want to take this opportunity to recognize our bottom of the hour sponsors for their support of CT Views. Want to give a big shout out to Toth Insurance Agency, located 1151 East Main Street, Torrington, Connecticut. Better protection, better value. He can be reached at 860-496-7771 or at tothins@optonline.net. Mel Brookman and Health Markets, located at 16 McDermott Ave, Suite number 1, Torrington, Connecticut. You better call Mel. He can be reached at 860-307-1128 or at healthmarkets.com/local-health-ins. The Northwest Connecticut Area Chamber of Commerce, located at 59 Field Street, Suite 120 in Torrington, Connecticut. The Chamber is a place to be. They can be reached at 860-482-6586. Dr. Michael Curry, located at 30 Peck Road, Suite 2105, Torrington, Connecticut. Pediatric care for over 50 years. He can be reached at 860-482-8177 or at torringtonpediatrics.com. Now, Culture for a Cause is the producer of CT Views, and one of the proclamations that we hold dear to our hearts is Coryse's membership in the Declaration of Human Rights. So
the Universal Declaration.
The universal. That means it applies to everybody, okay?
Everyone, yes.
So without further ado, we would like to give you our presentation for the proclamation, the Declaration of Human Rights, brought to you by our one and only Coryse Villarouel.
In the spirit of unity, equality, and dignity for all, let it be known that Culture for a Cause stands as a beacon of hope and harmony, guided by the principles enshrined in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Our mission is simple: to build community through the transformative power of music and the arts. We believe the arts have a unique ability to transcend racial and economic divides, weaving threads of connection that binds us together as one human family. As stated in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, everyone has the right to freely participate in the cultural life of the community, to enjoy the arts, and to share in scientific advancements and its benefits. Culture for a Cause wholeheartedly embraces this principle. recognizing the profound impact of art in touching the hearts and souls of individuals, conveying powerful messages that resonates across boundaries. Through our commitment to creating and supporting community arts projects, we strive to foster a sense of belonging and togetherness among people from all walks of life. These projects serve as catalysts for dialogue, understanding, and collaboration, celebrating the rich tapestry of diverse cultures that make up our society. Furthermore, we dedicate ourselves to raising funds for community, social, safety nets through events that center around these arts projects. By combining the transformative power of the arts with a passion for social justice, we aim to not only inspire creativity and connection, but also to support those in need within our community. Be it further proclaimed that we call upon individuals, organizations, and communities to join us in this mission, to celebrate the transformative power of the arts, and to work together to create a world where creativity and compassion flourish, and where every person's human rights are recognized and respected. In witness whereof, this proclamation is made to honor and affirm our collective commitment to these ideals. We thank you for your continued support.
Life is hard, kid, and it can be trite. The greatest respect in music is to bring it to life. Humming the line, the melody is strong. Cause those who wish to sing will always find a song. The touch of lovers know it. Everyone becomes a poet when you feel it in your heart. That's when your feelings start to own it. It lifts your soul when your face show it. That's when you love it. Emotions and the tears run when you going through it. Loyalty is given, respect is everything. And those who fly solo will have the strongest wings. Music produce kings and queens. Hear the strings, let every voice ring. Cause we gon' sing.
We gon' sing and give them some hook. It's that rebel music that got them all shook. Instead of guns, I hope your son picks up a book. God gon' give us what the devil done took. Sing like them caged birds that can't make bail. We need more Maya Angelos and less jails. I ain't around, so my son ain't got no positive mail. Role model, so it's the bottle and drug sales.
Truth gon' reign. Yeah, that's the message. God bless it. It represents every benefit of belief and togetherness that we gon' sing. Yeah. We gon' sing. 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 We gon' sing.
We gon' sing to the moment of truth. We can't go back in time, so we went in the booth. Yeah, we gon' sing cause the world's so cool. Malcolm ain't have much but a dream to hold.
Juneteenth is why we celebrate, why we overcome the tyranny of hate. From slavery to Jim Crow, for civil rights and the right to vote. We be down to be free since we got off the boat. Give me the music, give me the song, and I'll right these wrongs till the day I'm done questioning why it took so long for my people to get the word they were free to go home.
We gon' sing.
We gon' sing in the morning. We gon' sing at night. We gon' sing for the fallen and slain who made the sacrifice. We gon' sing in the field. We gon' sing in the streets. We gon' sing in the churchyard. To everyone we need to keep on singing. We gon' sing. We gon' sing. We gon' sing. We gon' sing. Glory, hallelujah. gon' say? Who gon' say? Who gon' say? Who gon' say? Glory, hallelujah.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of CT Views. And we're here with, I can call you a good friend, can I?
Yeah. I hope so.
I was going
Will
to
you
say,
be my friend?
I'm just saying, especially sitting on city council, you never know, I might need a favor every now and then, Paul,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Well, yes, as if I had the
That's like, will you
power
be my
to
friend?
grant you a favor.
Please, will you be my
Yeah,
friend?
I'll pretend like I have the ability to grant favors. I'll pretend.
Will
if
you lower my
pretend.
taxes?
Yeah, sure I will. Sure I will. I'm a politician. Ask me anything, I'll be able to do it. Of course I will. But don't come looking for me after the election.
Now, we are entering election season in less than a week. We'll be starting early voting. So all you out there who want to make a difference in your community, we encourage you to participate in our democracy. Paul, now I do want to make sure that I let you all know that we did invite Anne Ruette on the show tonight. Unfortunately, she couldn't make it. We want to make sure that we have equal and opposite representation from both parties when we do our candidate forums. So we want to be fair, and we want to make sure that you guys can hear from both sides of the aisle so that you can make an informed decision when you go to the ballot box. So Paul, how do you feel about your slate this year?
Oh, I think it's a great slate.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a great slate. We've got a combination of experienced people and new younger people coming in volunteering.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very enthusiastic about our mayoral candidate.
Yes.
Yes. Steve Ivane. He is, he's a business trained
right
civic leader. He's got a lot of experience. He knows. And to me, that is hugely important, to address the issues that I brought up earlier,
Absolutely.
which is that, at the end of the day, the buck stops in the mayor's office. It just does,
Mm-hmm.
and the mayor is responsible for orchestrating,
Mm-hmm.
how the city works together. And I think people are crushed by the taxes. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's been at least, 20 years. In 20 years, I don't think we've ever seen the taxes get rolled back. It's just been a steady. So this gets to the point that at the local level, the nomenclature of Democrat, Republican, it doesn't track at the national level. It doesn't track. I mean, we have had Republican leadership for 20 years and the taxes have stayed either the same or they've just gone up, and they've gone up a huge amount. So I would ask voters to just consider the candidates on their own merits, okay? I guarantee you, Stephen and I are actually very much alike in our thinking about the fact that we need a pragmatic, practical approach, not a party-driven, not a larger principle. We've got major issues in trying to. The only way you're going to roll back taxes, people, the only way
Bring in business
is you've got to bring businesses.
Yeah.
That's the way the tax structure works in any municipality.
Build that grand list.
There's only three revenue streams.
Yeah.
One is your property tax. Two is business paying taxes.
Yep.
And third is getting money from the state. And when you get money from the state or the federal government, that money, grant money, always has strings attached. And the more money you get, the thicker and heavier those strings are. And then you start to lose local control of those issues. So when we lost factories back in the 90s, like so much of the Rust Belt Northeast, we lost the jobs.
Yep.
We lost that tax base.
Yep.
And we also lost, which people sort of overlook, we also lost an executive class of people.
Right.
And Torrington was remarkable. When I look back, and start looking through some of the old archives about Torrington city leadership, during World War II, an awful lot of women moved because the guys were actually, doing the fighting. A lot of women moved up into decision-making roles, across the city, the state, and the country, And Torrington, post-World War II, had an awful lot of female leadership, strong women leaders. And we've always sort of had this independence, I think, in Torrington, I mean, I think it's one of the true hallmarks of this city. Immigrants came up from New York, they came over from Massachusetts, they came down from Canada, and we've been in the northwest corner kind of marking our own turf for many, many, many generations, We've got a great city, people are very proud of it, but what we need is honestly, to lower taxes, we need to pull all of our assets together into a convincing sort of argument to bring business to Torrington. Big business. I'm not talking about the mom and pops. I mean, that's good. But the kind of business where they, employ 30, 80, 150 people doing things. And there's been an awful lot of talk in my 12 years on the city council. There's been an awful lot of talk about doing that, but the results are less than, encouraging. And part of the reason is you need somebody who can talk the talk. And that's what I like about Steve Ivane. The man can, Torrington would finally have a real businessman in City Hall who can, there's a, like I said, after years and years and years at ESPN, there's a language to business. There's a way that they think about, and you have to talk to business
There's a
people.
rhythm. There's a rhythm to it.
Precisely.
There's a rhythm.
Precisely. It's very different than other things, because they look at the world in a very, very specific way. Like, how am I going to make money at this?
Right.
That's what they want to know.
Right.
All those others, how am I going to make money at this? And you have to be able to figure that out in every sort of nuance of conversations you have with them.
Yep.
And you need somebody who knows how to do that. And I think Stephen does know how to do that. And I think that will be very positive for our city.
If you don't mind, I would like to take this opportunity, because yesterday was Stephen's sister's birthday.
Okay.
And if anyone out there knew Sheila Ivane, she was a tremendous person. She was did a lot of my photography work.
Yep.
And I just want to take this opportunity to wish her a happy heavenly birthday, because
Has it
she
been
is
what?
missed.
Has it been
It's
just
been
a year?
two years.
2 years. Right.
Yeah. It's been tough. She passed young, and it was.
She was a great. I mean, I remember the first time I met her after a show that I did, and she had when she had that camera in her hand, there was something magical and mystical about it. And I remember I had to park my car on Main Street because everything was filled, and I was coming on Mason Street, and she was like walking, and I couldn't tell if she was walking or floating. She was like, and she says, "Can I take a picture of you?" And I was like, But she was just such a community supportive person. And, I'm an arts advocate, as we all are. And she was just such a catalyst to our arts community, and just did so much out of just the goodness of her heart.
It runs in the family, I guess.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It does.
So the Ivanes go back a long way. A lot of people don't know the name. It began as a farming family, and my grandparents were initially on my father's side. They were farmers, and there's a solidity to people who work the land.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
There's
Yeah.
in touch with this is real. Cut the crap, cut the bullshit. This is what this is how we're going to do this. This is how we're going to do that. Not a lot of small talk, and I think the Ivanes come out of that too. So and I think Stephen would greatly appreciate you acknowledging his sister. Thank you. Well, that's nice of you.
But Paul, then too, our downtown.
Yeah.
It's gone through some changes.
Sure. Yeah.
Give us a state. What's your overall assessment of downtown?
Well, I think it's coming along. Downtown. I think it's coming along well. What we need, the look, the aesthetics are definitely great. Aside from the roads. And the downtown roads are fine. We all know. It's just,
it's
the
side roads.
It's
everything
else. It's everything else.
It's everything else.
So I think we can all agree on that. The thing we need is to attract again, we need to bring in jobs.
Right.
We need people with disposable income to be brief.
Yeah.
You need in order to grow downtown, you've got to have people who can spend money
Right.
downtown.
Right.
It's not any more complicated than that, but it's very difficult to achieve because all these other cities are looking to attract the same kind of, it's people who are going to spend money at their restaurants, at the shop. If you get enough people who have money to spend, you're going to get retailers down there. You're going to get, art venues down there. You're going to get performance things going down there where people spend. But the only way to do that, of course, is to, again, find ways of bringing in more, businesses with working people to have spendable, disposable income. So that still triggers. Does that answer your question?
Well, I wanted to bring up a sore point.
Yeah.
Because many people feel that downtown would benefit from more parking. How do you feel about that?
Well, yeah, I mean, yes, it would benefit from more parking. However, it's a difficult decision, and I know what you're referring to.
Yep.
It's because the retailers down there, they don't like people being chased out because they're on the clock and they've only got 20 minutes and they're gonna have to put more money in the meter.
Yeah.
They don't want it. What I'm told from multiple sources that the parking meters themselves basically don't pay their own way.
Right.
By the time you have the ticket takers and you have to do the processing of the fees and blah 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 blah, that it's
and it discourages people from coming down.
It discourages people coming down. Yeah. So that's a whole separate issue. And I know Steve Ivane is aware of it. I'm aware of it. And it's something that will be a focus on. What people have got to get their heads around is, again, you get outside of Torrington, back in my generation was spoiled, okay? Because, well, there wasn't the population density. There wasn't, so you could park downtown and everybody's happy. The best things, growing up at Torrington, again, when I was younger, was like Thursday night, Friday nights, retail, they stay open up late.
Yeah.
And that was awesome because, your parents would let you go, all the kids would go down, they'd find your own kids and they'd hang out and do kid stuff. And then the adults would have adult things, whether it's eating or this or that, the other thing, go shopping. And it was all, and then, eventually 9:30, 10 o'clock, everybody go home, but that's community right there. My daughter lives in a town called Monrovia. It's east of Los Angeles. Okay. She's a middle school principal there. And I went to, she moved there a couple of years ago. And it's so amazing because when I went to see, I had never heard of this town, didn't know, okay. We only got 4 minutes. Anyway, so I went to visit her, and this was, a year and a half ago. And she told me, it was a Thursday, she said, let's go down. I said, downtown now? Monrovia? And she goes, yeah, no, we're going to go. We're going to get some food and blah, blah, we're going to hook up, they got a 2-year-old, they're going to bring her down. I said, okay, and it was like Torrington. It had the California feel about it, that high plateau, deserty sort of thing. Yeah. But it was the same thing. It was families hanging out. There was a library with a huge sort of park in it, and the kids some of the younger kids were playing there. The older, the boys were, flirting with the girls. The girls, they were doing their thing. The adults were doing their thing, and it was just great. Yeah. This is community the way. This is what Torrington used to be, and we have all the stuff here to get back to it. Yeah. Just got to stay focused on it. And I think we can with the right leadership. I think we can if we get everybody working in the same way, centralized through City Hall and the mayor's office.
Yeah, you're right, and it's not just downtown. Like you can't even go to the Y. You have to pay a meter.
Yeah.
To go work out. Like what is that? Yeah. And, it's like, all right, well, I guess I'm not working out for too long. I can't enjoy that sauna for too long because you've got to pay a meter. Like,
and those tickets are high.
It bogs my mind that this is the only way that they're finding to, I guess, bring money into the city. I'm not even sure.
I think in some ways it was a short-term solution, and that again goes to experienced leadership saying, no, we're going to take we're going to do the long view here.
Right, and not the short.
And then people have got to get their heads around, if we make free parking that's not immediately downtown, you're going to have to walk. And I'm sorry, but it's going to be actually good for you.
I don't know. Some of the people that I see needs to do some walking, okay? Shake your booty on down, all right?
You go to any decent-sized city, and you're parking, you're walking. You're walking.
Go to Blueback Square.
Yeah. You can do it.
New York City, and you're
promise
walking
you.
blocks and blocks.
I promise you
yeah.
can do it. You know.
It's about time to do some shout outs. So without further ado, Don's Getaway, 24 Winstead Road. Shout out Christie's Restaurant, located at 545 Winstead Road. Shout out Health Insurance Services, Craig Yard and the Crew, located at 438 Main Street, Torrington, Connecticut. Wall and Frunhofer, located at 117 Main Street, Torrington, Connecticut. Soul Latina Cafe, located at 31 Hungerford Street, Torrington, Connecticut. Jimmy's Store, located at 1238 East Main Street in Torrington, Connecticut. Shout out 5 Points Art Center, located at 855 University Drive, Torrington, Connecticut. And last but not least, George's Music, located at 905 New Harrington Road, Torrington, Connecticut. And before we go, got to give some love to our sponsors. Toth Insurance Agency, located 1151 East Main Street, Torrington, Connecticut. Mel Brickman and Health Markets, located at 16 McDermott Ave, Suite number 1, Torrington, Connecticut. Better call Mel. The Northwest Connecticut Area Chamber of Commerce, located at 59 Field Street, Suite 120, Torrington, Connecticut. And Dr. Michael Curry, located at 30 Peck Road, Suite 2105, Torrington, Connecticut. Thank you so much to our sponsors.
Yes. And before we go, we want to mention that we do have a paint coming up this Thursday night at Little Red Barn Brewery. It's a fundraiser for Culture for a Cause. I hope everyone can join us. Down there, we still have tickets available for sale. Just visit the Culture for a Cause website if you're interested in that.
cultureforacause.org, okay? Paul, thank you so much for hanging out with us this evening.
Can
Please come back.
Can I put a
Sure
plug
can.
Plug on, bro. Plug on.
Listen, I showed up. There's a meet and greet for candidates for the Democratic Party at Brinks tomorrow evening, 6 p.m. I think.
Okay.
6 p.m.
Okay.
6
So
p.m.
yeah,
Get on
very
down,
very
get-
casual. You want to see who's actually running for office? Come down and have a great coffee, or they have a wine bar there now.
Yeah.
Now they do
So,
organic wines.
Yeah.
Hopefully
So
she'll
it's
put out
nice.
some of that watermelon and a cheese she had going on last time at the ribbon cutting.
We're talking about downtown community.
Yeah.
All
This is
right.
the kind
Well,
of thing.
unfortunately,
Yeah, I know.
for our live TV, we've got to close it up. We've got to wrap it up, but we can still chat for our Facebook crew out there.
Yeah, we could do that.
So live TV, we thank you for joining us once again here on a Tuesday night, 6 to 7 p.m. See you next Tuesday.
CT Views.
City Views.